Hey, what's up, guys? Got a new season here. I've never been so excited for a season as I am this season. It's a lot of different reasons for it. The first reason is the rough. I don't know what happened, but the second half of the last season, I really just started clicking with the car. And bottom line is, I laughed the most driving that car. So that's what's important to me. Is I just had more fun with that car than I did any other car. So that's the car I'm gonna pick for the whole season this season. What I did last season's kind of a departure from what I normally do, but it was a fun experiment, and I will probably dabble with a couple of the other cars here and there when I have some time. But yeah, that's the first reason I'm really excited about the this season. Second reason is iRacing is now teamed up with the Blackpond Endurance Series, which is a real life series. So we got that namesake going now. Which sounds a lot better in GT3 challenges. But really cool. And there's actually, just like in the real world, there's two different series. I believe that series has two different series in the world. Might be thinking of a different series actually. But anyways, it's 40-minute races for the sprint series, and that's completely separate from the endurance series, and both series are at the tracks at the same time. I think the weather's different, which is kind of cool. I like that. It's same track, but a little bit different weather. Because, I mean, think about it. Those two races probably wouldn't go off on the same day in the real world, so makes sense. And yeah, with the sprint series is really cool. 40 minutes, which I think is a really good amount of, like, the perfect time for a sprint series. Like, I think that's an awesome time. And then the endurance series is 180 minutes, and it's gonna be minimum one driver. I think it's like a max like 7 drivers, something like that. You probably only have to stop 3 times. I'm thinking, not really sure yet, maybe 2. But yeah, it's cool that they're doing a minimum of 1 driver. Now, if they're doing like a team championship, I don't think those drivers should, get credit for championship points unless they actually have a teammate. But it's cool that they're also not being punished if they race the race. They still get credit for racing the race and all that stuff, iRating, safety rating that comes with it. So that's cool. So here we are. I've already kind of cheated earlier in the week. I just ran some laps probably like 3-4 days ago. So I did already start doing a little bit of work on the car. And it was modified from a Monza set I had made because I had just been having way too much fun at Monza this week. Like that track's on my new top 5 list for sure. That combined without the first chicane is some great racing. So the main thing I did that's going to be different from the Monza set is these bump stop gaps are huge compared to the Monza set. Let's look at the Monza set real quick, or even look at baseline. Baseline, actually, their baseline's 80. Let's see what Monza set up it. So that's 84.3. So I still have more of a bump stop than baseline right now. Just gonna see what my Monza bump stop. See, these are all the way at 54.5, so a lot less gap, and this is a lot less gap than baseline as well. Let's go back to baseline. 69, or no, that's not the number. Yeah, 84 and 90. I think this is like 60 or something. It's 59 or something like that. So a little bit lower, and that just the smaller the bump stop gap, the quicker the spring's going to reach the bottom of compression and then hit that bump stop gap. So when you make the bump stop gap bigger, say we're fully compressed right now, like the spring's fully compressed on the bump stop gap, basically what you're doing when you're making that bump stop gap bigger is you're just opening that gap so now the springs can go a little bit lower. The front end of the car can go lower, but for a lot of the purposes here, it's because we're at Sebring and it's like a 1940s concrete pavement job. So kind of want a bigger range for this spring. It's like the big Baja trucks. They have huge travel. You're basically increasing travel. So it's been a while. I don't even remember what that weather was. I was driving in before. Guess I should look at the weather right now too. See if it's partly cloudy or mostly cloudy. Info. Alright, so we have partly cloudy, 23 degrees Celsius, which I think is like 70s. Low 70s, something like that in Fahrenheit, I believe. Let me see if I can switch this over to regular and it'll go back to regular. No, it's still, it's pretty cool weather, let's put it that way. And it's partly cloudy, which also helps keep it cool. The track looks pretty cool. Relative, I think it's in like the 90s Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. And yeah, a little bit of wind out of the southeast. I wish they had like a little compass right here so I knew which way north was on this map. Or put all the maps so they face, so north is north, up on the map. Alright, so I was about ready to run a lot of laps with the baseline. Why do you want to do that? Grab my set I worked on a little bit earlier in the week. And we'll just do what I like to do right off the bat. First I want to make sure all my controls are legit. I did the little spring cleaning on some wires, plugged them back in, so I'm just making sure everything works. So it's a good idea. And just start doing what I normally do and run some laps, get warmed up, or start making any adjustments to the car. Ooh, I've been used to driving that GT3 Ford, and this thing has got a lot better braking power in that car. But I do love that car. The GT3 Ford, that is. But this rough's gonna be a lot of fun this week. I don't think I need to go to first here. I think I can just go to second. And they did update the cones. I noticed they're a little paler in color, look a little more chalky. Can't really notice the difference other than that. Not quite as bright and shiny. Definitely second gear for that corner. And I might be doing a little bit different take on race prep videos since I'm not going to be working on just got too much of that curb. Lesson learned. Since I won't be working on all 4 cars, I'm gonna be doing what I used to do, and that's just spend a lot more time working on one car. So I might upload 2-3 race prep videos a week just working on the same car. They're probably going to be pretty long, pretty drawn out, but you're going to see the exact process that I go through. And I'll try and do what I did before and make little time stamps for major suspension or major adjustments and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys can learn something from that, and it'll be a little bit different take, a little more in-depth process. I'm not sure if I need to go to third there or just keep it on fourth. Probably just keep it on fourth. Like, I completely forgot what I did 3-4 days ago and I was just messing around here. I remember I was debating between keeping it in between third and second there, and probably just keep it in third. And I'm going to brake at the first cones up here. Down to second. Oh, and that was even probably a little... I can probably brake a little bit after this cones next lap. So right now, these initial naps, it's really not even about the setup as long as this thing doesn't try and kill me. It's all about just working on braking points. So I'm braking a little bit after the first cones there. That looked pretty good. Could maybe brake like a foot or two deeper and then just be a little bit harder on the brakes. Again, pretty much braking at those first set of cones there. I think I'll keep it in third gear for that corner. Braking where the curb ends and the grass starts on the left back there. I'm trying to get out, swing out nice and wide so I can come back, get that apex, and back on the throttle. This is always a tricky corner. You basically just gotta find the best line with that the car handles the bumps best on. Braking right after the second set of cones, so it goes 4, 3, 2, 1 cones. I'm braking at the 3 cones. Six. Just a little part of that wall where it cuts in a little bit more towards the pits, and that's where I'm braking. I'm braking a little bit after the 3 cones. See, I'm just gonna try and keep it in third gear all the way this time through here. Just dab the brake a little bit there just to get the front end to put a little bit more weight on the front tires and get them to turn a little bit more. And again, we'll brake a little bit after the 4 cones here. There we go, that was pretty good. Yep. It was kind of funny on that inside curb, so I didn't want to put a lot of wheel into it, so I had to let it kind of float out. It's kind of hopping on this curb a little bit on the inside there. Okay, so a little after the 4 cones there. Oop. Every now and then, this rough will just do really rough upshifts. Alright, so that time I broke almost at the 2 cones. I did go down to second, so I still gotta figure out if I want to do second or third through there. Because second didn't feel as bad that time. Okay, so again, braking pretty much where the grass starts on the left, just before the 3 cones. Again, you just want to get out here nice and wide. I might raise the car a little bit more so I can go actually drive up over that curb without the car bottoming out. Then again, if my memory serves me correct, I think I might have this car fully lifted as is. And again, braking a little after the 3 cones, pretty much in between the 3 and the 2 cones. Just going down the third gear. I usually like to take a more shallow line. I don't like to let it swing out too wide, because if you catch bumps bad, then you just take you forever to get back on line because the front end just won't turn. Again, there's just a little spot there where the wall just cuts back in for like another couple feet, and that's where I'm braking. So a little after the 3, I didn't go up to third there because I was too busy talking. Or up to 5th. Keep it in third again here. Again, using the brake a little bit just to help rotation. That was a little too aggressive. It actually kicked the rear end loose. A little sloppy. Oh yeah, I also have to figure out fuel too. Okay, so again, braking a little after the 4 cones. It's working very nicely. The car didn't hit the same bump, or I didn't hit that curb the same way, and it was much smoother. It was much easier for me to get the power down there. Again, braking kind of close to those 3 cones back there. Second set of cones is pretty much my braking point. I just gotta watch out for that first to second upshift. It kind of wants to kick the rear end loose. Then pretty much keep it in third this time. I think you keep it in third through there. And I was braking in between the halfway point of the 3 and 2 cones. And up here, braking in the grass area before the 3 cone. Probably get to the 3 cone when you get lighter on fuel if you still got good enough tires. Again, I'd like the car not to bottom out over that curb, but we'll see what we can do. Or if I should adjust my line, see which one's faster. Because I mean, I could make the car higher, but it could make it handle worse around the track, so that wouldn't be faster, as opposed to just finding a different line. Again, braking in between the 3 and the 2 cone. Again, just trying to get it nice and tight in on that yellow line there. See, it cuts in right there, and then it's harder to see it the closer you get to it. When you're farther away, you can actually see the little indentation a little bit easier. Have to fit this time like you're supposed to, and then back down 3rd. So we're getting closer to the 2 cone for braking in that corner. Again, just tapping the brake, getting that front end to turn a little bit. I might try and do something with the setup there. Like, I don't even remember how happy I was with this set when I finished it. I don't remember if I thought it could do a lot more working on it. So I went down to 1st that time. Probably should have just kept it in 2nd. It worked out, but accidentally went to 1st there. Alright, braking close to the 3 cones. There we go. It's pretty good. And careful of this upshift from 2nd to 3rd there. The car might want to break loose on you. Went down to 2nd there again. That was just my subconscious taking over because I really wasn't thinking about it. Oh! That time I broke at the 3 cones. The problem was I was just a little too far to the left and just left side tires barely caught some grass and unsettled the car. But I think I'm going to start braking at the 3 cones for the beginning of those S's. Oh yeah, also start working on qualifying sets too. Forgot about that. I just realized that right now. Because I'll be working on one car, so I'll definitely start working on hot lapping and all that fun stuff. I don't know why I went to 3rd there. I wasn't thinking, that's why. Alright. I tried to push that a little bit deeper, get closer to 2 cones, and it was just a little too deep. So it's still right. Seems like it's in between the 3 and the 2 cone. It's actually, it's going to be a little bit more natural for me the way I'm going to make these videos. And they're probably only going to be about half an hour long, because what I was trying to do before I was basically just trying to create a whole setup within an hour and just make it good for the masses of people to drive. So that it's a little bit different what I'm doing right now, where right now, like each session, I might just be focusing on one adjustment change. So it's going to be a little bit different. It might be a little bit shorter, but focusing more on just one adjustment change. I think that might be the better direction to go, because then I can just talk about springs that whole video or something like that. 'Cause I've kind of been wanting to do something like that, where I just talk about each individual component, so people can just go to those videos and just watch that video and learn everything they need to about that component. So I might kind of do that with this new direction I'm going to take on the videos. Meanwhile, I'm running my best lap. Ooh, too fast. We're gonna hit something if I don't floor it. Ooh, that was about as close as it gets right there. Alright, so I got a little warmed up there. I'm just gonna go back out the no changes to the set. First we're gonna watch how close I was that wall. That's it. So, and this is actually like good for wreck control, because that's a whole art to itself. So what was happening is I came into the corner too fast. Just came into the corner way too fast. And then Why I didn't just slam on the brakes is because if I just slam on the brakes right now, 99% of the time I'm going straight into that wall. Because your front tires are probably going to lock up and the car is just going to slide into the wall. It's not. So, first thing you try and do is just ride it out. So, that's what I'm doing right here. Now I realize we're going around. That's inevitable. And at the same time, my brain's starting to figure out my trajectory and if I'm going to hit this wall or not. I'm going to swing this, get a little bit better angle. Oh, there we go. Right now, my brain's trying to figure out: am I going? Is my trajectory going like that, or are we actually starting to? And I start to figure out that this is going to be close. So right now I'm like in 4th gear or something, and so I kind of just give it one more downshift because what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to light up the tires. And there's a really cool video of Jimmy Johnson at I think it was Martinsville or Dover. There's a really small track and he spins out on the straightaway and it's a bank straightaway and there's walls on both sides, and the whole reason he doesn't hit the walls is because every time his ass end starts going to the wall, he floors it. That kind of helps his car, push away from the wall. So that's basically what I'm doing right there. But you got to remember to downshift a couple gears so your tires will actually spin, because if you're up in a tall gear, it won't spin. So that's what I do. I just floor it, and then you're pretty much praying that you're not going to hit it. And then I didn't hit it. So that's a little short lesson in wreck avoidance. A couple different things there. See, if I would have just slammed on the brakes right there, I would have gone into that wall. The only way I didn't wreck is because I kind of just rode it out and saw what happened when I got there later. All right. So now that I've done, let's see how many laps I've done. I've only done 5 laps, but it was enough to get warmed up with the car. So now we'll just take it out with some fresh tires and run some more laps. And I'm actually... my last 5 lap average is about 0.865 gallons per lap. So once the first race goes off, I'll figure out how many laps they did and then just times that by 0.865 and then I'll know how much fuel I need for the race. So I think those corners is your preference. If you want to go second gear down through there, sometimes you can. I do it. A lot of these corners are like that because with the rough, it's only got one set of gears, so I can't change them. It was unfortunate. So let's go down to second here. Again, that can be user preference if you want to go down to third. This next corner, you definitely only go down to second. Brake right in between the 3 or the 4 and or closer to 3 cones. Probably about 3-4 feet before that white line next to the 3 cones is when you brake. Again, always be mindful of that shift from second to third there. Went down to second there. That was all subconscious. I think I might actually just not go over that curb, because I mean the set feels really good, so I don't want to have to raise a car up 20 feet if I'm not bottoming out everywhere else. So I think I'll just ride that curb and change my line as opposed to changing the setup for that corner. At least unless I find out later on I really need to make it go over that curb so I can get a better exit down that straightaway so I can make passes or something like that. Alright, broke into the ones. Oh no, I didn't. Not yet. Still gotta run a full lap. We're down to 4th. Kind of broke a little late there, so it was a bit sketchy. Went down to 2nd because I broke a little late again, so I had to kind of use the actual engine to slow me down, which isn't something you really want to do. It's a bad habit. It's good to get in the natural rhythm of the car and find out where it's easier on everything, but it can cause wheel hop, the rear end to lock up. and give you an e-brake effect where it just spins right around on you. And this lap will get into the ones. If I keep it on the track, hit my marks. Yeah, I'm not braking at those 3 cones. I'm braking like 3-4 feet before them. We got 3rd gear all the way. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go through there for the best time. Tell you what, man, I might, I don't know. Like I said, I'll be working on this set a lot, but it's going to be a lot more natural process, and right now I don't feel like working on it too much, so I think I'm more or less just, figure out what my times are, get a nice baseline to start working the week with, which I think I already did earlier this week, but just more or less want to see what my times are in this actual weather, and what the set feels like after a couple laps. Just shaking things down right now. Oh man, almost got to 2-minute flat times. I feel like it could be a little bit more. I went down to 3rd. I feel like it could be a little more stable on entry. And that first corner. So I'll probably do 10 laps here and then call it for this video. This will kind of be a little walkthrough for you guys. How I like to get around the track and what I do in the beginning of the week. Get warmed up. Before I just start making crazy adjustments on the car, I want to get some solid times down. Try and get some consistency going. I'm gonna just kind of shut up now and run some laps. One thing you guys can watch is how much I'm feathering the brake and need trail braking. I do a lot of trail braking, so especially on tracks like this. And these big 90-degree corners. It's all different. Kept in 4th. Oh boy, pushed out. I think it's better to go down to 3rd there, it gets me better rotation. Tried to get on the gas and then just kind of went straight towards the wall. Yeah, the rear needs to be a little bit more stable. It feels like it's kind of ducking down a little bit too much and then unsettling the car because all the weight's on the right rear and it's swinging out. But I'm just running my laps right now. Keep that in the back of my head for later on. I mean, actually what I do is I have a whole composition book here. I write down all these notes, so I'll know exactly that, okay, that was something I was thinking about, so next time, say if next time I would drive this car is tomorrow after this little session, then my, I might not remember exactly how everything felt, but if I write it down, that'll help jog my memory and I can get back up to speed a lot quicker. Because ideally, you want to you think of something you want to adjust, and you want to do it right when you're feeling you need the adjustment. But sometimes, there's a real world out there, and you ain't got time to do that. So it's best just write it down real quick, and then when you come back the next day or whatever, just run like 5-6 laps with the baseline setup, and then make that adjustment after you run those first initial laps, so you get a little bit of that feel again. And then, and also another thing about that is sometimes you come back and you realize you were wrong. you know, it wasn't doing what you thought you were doing. Maybe you're a little too tired at that point. You've been tuning for too long and got a little burnout, and you thought it needed it, but it was more you're just getting tired driving the car differently. So there are benefits to not doing too much in one day. Alright, just gonna run 6 more laps. See if I can get a little more consistency going here. Yeah, should have gone up. That was a good job getting through there. It was fun too. That's what I'm saying. This car is fun. Like the way it just got through that corner, hunkered down on acceleration, got out of there. That's why I love this car. Probably why I like this car so much is just the way it accelerates out of corners. Or in my opinion, the Beamer's just complete frustration. I mean, because it just seems to. I don't know if it's different this season, but it just seems to want to spin those rear tires. Even when you're going dead straight, it wants to spin the rear tires. And I run a lot more traction control with that Beamer than I do with this rough. I barely run any traction control at all with this thing. All about patience for that corner. It's got to wait for a car to go through the bumps and then knowing to get back on the gas. And that just comes through experience running laps and knowing when you're at the part of the track doesn't have the bumps anymore. Then with even more experience, you start to figure out on which line has the nastier bumps or where the bigger bumps are located on track. Ideally, I don't want to be touching the curb because it makes the car hop and I have to wait those couple little fractions of a second to get back on the throttle. Ideally, I want to just hug right around it. Now, this curb's a nice flat curb, so as long as you don't get on the grass part, it's not too bad. There's no advantage to hitting the curb there. It'll probably actually push you back out in the track and possibly push you into somebody else. That curb, no real advantage of hopping. You don't want any part of these curbs, especially if you're in the Beamer. I don't go over the curb here, but then I think I go over the curb. Oh, no, that was a different game. You just get it real close to the curb there. That's Forza or something where I think I used to drive over that curb. And definitely go over that curb. You can go over this curb. These curbs are alright to ride up on. I just don't go over on the back side of them. That's when things get dangerous. Just drive all the way up till you get right up to that little ridge, and then just keep those tires right on that little ridge. As the tire goes up on the ridge, that's like as far as I go over on them. And then, yeah, this is just all about kind of wide entry here, but then at this point I'm really trying to bring it in as tight as I can. I just forgot to go down a gear, so I kind of pushed out there, but it does start out wide, but I try and get to that inside pretty quick after I get that initial wide entry. See, there I didn't. Boom. Headshot. Alright. There, I didn't get on the curb, but the rear end just went around a little bit on me there. Alright, so I think I'll pretty much leave it at that. What I might try and do if you guys watch this and get the set, because I'll put this initial set on the forums, is you might want to put a couple more clicks of low speed rebound dampening in the rear, and that should help the rear end on stabilize just a little bit on corner entry. So that's what I would do if you guys were going to do anything. And again, I have no idea if this feels legit. Probably not. So drive at your own risk. Alright guys, that'll do it for this time. Just a little warm-up sesh. Again, it's going to be a little bit different pace than last season, because I'm taking a whole different approach. So hopefully guys you learned something, and it'll be a little different. Keep it fresh. Alright guys, see you later.